Hey, Mr. Bissell, I'm going to go ahead and do my presentation on my assignment 3, which was renewable resources and environmental protection. So the four big debates I came across while researching this topic were these four. Number one, global warming is a myth. Well, I can tell you this, that it is in certainly fact not a myth. There is so much scientific evidence out there backing this up. Um, it's crazy to me that people can still put in other people's minds that this is a myth, because the amount of science that has been done just proves there's so much evidence out there that's proving that it's not a myth. Secondly, renewable resources do more harm than good. People say that it kills birds. People say that we're still putting gases in the atmosphere. That's true, but we're also creating jobs. The amount of gases in the atmosphere that we put there through renewable resources are minimal. The birds, yeah, some birds get injured in the process, but it's not as bad as killing all the birds or making birds go extinct. So you just have to think about it that way. Thirdly, renewable resources are too expensive. They are very expensive. I could go either way in this debate, saying that they should be less expensive, but no matter how expensive, the amount of money that we're going to save is exponential, because you're paying a high installment fee. It could be up to $100,000 to supply your whole house with heat, light, everything like that. Depends on which route you go: biomass, hydro, solar, wind, anything like that. It's going to be expensive, but it's also going to have long-term benefits, which is what we're in for. Fourthly, nothing bad will happen in our lifetime, so why worry? This one's really personal for me because it's not true. Things will happen in our lifetime. Within the next 100 years, which is a long time away, but also not a long time away, water levels are supposed to rise 100 feet if we're still on the same pace we're on today. So 100 years might not be in our lifetime, but 50 is. So 100 divided by 2, 50 feet. That means that coast could be gone. Coastline cities could be underwater. So it's worrisome because it's not true, and also it's our future generations that we're preparing for. So we have to look out for the ones that are coming up. My personal ideas. Personally, first off, I think the biggest thing we have to do is make the switch to renewable resources. Hydro, wind, solar, biomass, all that stuff needs to be on our regimen. We need to get that stuff done within the next 10 years, I personally believe. It's really important that we do that, because we will see the changes really soon if we go ahead and follow suit. 2, this one might be the biggest one to me, because I like to live by this. Pick up after yourself. If you litter, pick it up. Don't litter, essentially. If you see someone litter, pick it up for them. If you know that person, confront them, tell them, explain to them why it's bad. Use paper instead of plastic plates. Don't use styrofoam plates, cups, stuff like that. It's just all about being a good citizen and all that stuff. It all plays hand in hand. If everyone in the world tomorrow started using paper plates, paper cups instead of styrofoam or plastic, the amount of good that would happen within the next few years would be insane. Thirdly, vote. Vote for what you believe in. Vote against what I say. Vote for what I say. On the state, city, federal level, county level, all that stuff's going to take place, and it's going to have an effect on what happens in your area, whether it be your city, your state, or your country. All that stuff that they regulate comes from you, so you have to make sure that you vote for what you believe in. You might have noticed a little camera switch there. Had something happen, my phone fell over, so if you see the camera's different, my phone just fell over. I was here. How does this affect you? Prices are inflatable with non-renewable energy. They're going to change, and they're going to change a lot, and they're a lot more pricier. Installment prices are higher with solar and wind and stuff like that, but in the long run, they're going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars. Secondly, we have to look out for the future generation of animals. Like I said earlier, the future generation of people is just as important as the future generation of animals, and they're going to go extinct if we don't change our ways. Thirdly, temperature. It kind of goes with sea level and weather. The temperature's going to rise if we don't change what's happening. With that, sea level's going to change a lot within the next 100 years, 100 feet. And fifth, weather. The seasons are going to change. Winter's going to come later. Summer's going to come earlier. You're going to be wearing shorts in December and going to Florida in July. That stuff will happen if we don't change our pace. What would I do different? I would look more into what we have around our area. We have, lately I've seen a big growth. We have now the solar panels we have in there. We've had the wind turbine. That stuff's really, really good to see around. It'd be awesome to see more of that stuff happening. Ask local professionals. I actually know the people that own those pieces of property that the turbine and the big solar panels are on up here. So I could easily go talk to them, see what they have to say about it, why they do that, stuff like that. I would do a Q&A, but there's no one here. So I'm going to do a final thoughts instead. So basically, it's just really important that we go ahead and change our pace if we want to essentially keep on keeping on. Because if we don't, we're going to cause population issues because cities are going to be shrinking. America's going to get smaller, literally, because the ice caps are melting. And we are going to lose tons of land mass due to that. Make changes in your everyday life. Pick up after yourself. Pick up after others. Help out. Just be a good citizen, really. And if you do that, within the next few years, we'll see massive differences. The ozone layer, ozone hole rather, is shrinking, which is great. It's awesome. It's perfect. Smallest it's been in decades. But it's still important that we make these small and large-scale changes to our everyday lives. That way, we can go ahead and have a successful and healthy future.